Hello, we are Team Nolanville, and we have 10 members from 3 different disciplines: landscape architecture, urban planning, and computer science. Each of our team's proposed elements for the city of Nolanville was designed with input from each discipline. Today, we'll be presenting to you our comprehensive plan of these interventions. Our group intends to enhance the city of Nolanville by creating a community that is engaged, efficient, and evolved. Our overall goal is to improve mobility and safety by addressing specific issues including car traffic, train traffic, pedestrian traffic, digital signage, an alert system, an autonomous vehicle route, and improving community safety, child safety, and train safety. This map shows where all of our design interventions are located. We will go into each in more depth throughout the presentation.
To start on our first E, engaged, the community of Nolanville will become more engaged by increasing the number of community events and providing access to better housing opportunities. In order to engage the entire community of Nolanville, our team has designed a physical destination at the corner of 10th Street and East Avenue H called The Square. This site will ultimately be named by the citizens of Nolanville and is a center where the community can come together on a daily basis or for special events. The site includes a multi-use stage that could host acoustic concerts, children's shows, or workout classes, a fire pit to enjoy during nighttime activities, short trails to explore, and picnic tables for outdoor meals. In addition, a new commercial development across East Avenue H will include local retail and restaurant space. This will provide more jobs and encourage small business in Nolanville. We wanted to create a destination that can be easily accessible on foot for the surrounding community, as well as vehicular traffic. By hopefully opening up the entrance of North 8th Street, it can hopefully create easier access from the access roads and highways to the square. Our hope for the square was to create more walkability throughout Nolanville. As you can see, there's much more walkability or accessibility for pedestrians with the use of trails throughout the sites and sidewalks. This will ultimately promote a more walkable community and hopefully more community engagement in the future. The site is located on the north end of the square and is an example of what the square would look like during any given day as a place to come together, eat from local restaurants, and even take advantage of the trails as a running trail. The site includes trees surrounding the area and protecting the privacy of neighboring homes, as well as sound barriers like boxwoods, muhlygrass, and vitex. This is the same view, but from a nighttime perspective. There are many possibilities with the multi-use stage, and here's a small acoustic concert with the community enjoying it.
We feel that it is important for the city of Nolanville to have support from its community, which is why we have created a visual representation of where we believe Nolanville could gain this support locally, while also forming inspiration from non-local communities as well. To be a little more specific, we felt that it would be beneficial to utilize Keep Nolanville Beautiful and that they could possibly even mimic a few strategies from the following organizations. Utilizing this organization would give us the perfect opportunity to engage the community with our revitalization efforts and help us enhance the safety of the town. In order to achieve the bigger and more ambitious projects, it is important to have a stable support system. Coordination, funding, and volunteers are vital to the revitalization of the city. Providing that the engagement of Keep Nolanville Beautiful would be beneficial in our first step of phasing. Projects that would be implemented under KMV would include helping the development and maintenance of the pedestrian paths to cut down on labor funds and provide access to a safer route for children, campaign funding for designs and ideas of new street plans, expand the community's existing education on learning gardens, native monarch butterflies, the importance of the preservation of the land, and more. Implementation of a recycling center on school grounds will allow for students to be properly educated on the waste reduction practices and advocate for affordable housing programs such as Habitat for Humanity that have been more successful for many underdeveloped communities and make it a part of their personal mission to advocate for policies related to land acquisition and bring down the cost of building. Considering the limits of Nolanville's budget, we believe this is a program the city could greatly benefit from, as well as bring in a new way for the residents to give back to their own community.
Nolanville can also benefit from state and federal incentives. We believe it is important for these small businesses to be able to access greater amounts of resources. With more people visiting the downtown area, we would like to help businesses apply for these programs to aid their growth. We have found two programs that will most help businesses flourish. The Small Business Administration can provide information on available loans, grants, small business workshops, and advocacy efforts. The Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, which is created to provide aid to small, minority, and women-owned companies wanting to do business with TxDOT and other agencies receiving federal funds from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Since much of the economic activity in Nolanville is going to take place near the railroads, including the square, these small enterprises can receive greater amounts of funding.
While K&B is taking on these first phase projects, it would allow for the city to prepare more thoroughly for the completion of the proposed plans, development of the square, autonomous vehicle route, and the digital train crossing signage. We want the community to be as involved with the revitalization of their own town as possible. With all these new projects, they would have plenty of opportunities to stay involved with their community. These projects will reiterate our goals of trying to enhance the safety in the town while also engaging the residents.
Looking into our second E, efficiency, we have discovered that transportation mobility will be more efficient by improving the speed and safety of travel for residents and visitors of Nolanville. Looking into the efficiency of Nolanville, streetscapes have become a key product of safety and mobility for all of the residents. Looking at major traffic areas and key destinations of the town, we have been able to focus on a few locations to be the first steps into a more efficient future. By implementing safe spaces for pedestrians in the form of mobility outside of vehicle transportation, such as walkability and biking, we can allow for more access to localized destinations such as schools, shops, and more. A way of improving the mobility of Nolanville is by using existing curbs as a separation tool to have streets that are bike-friendly. Giving the bikes their own lanes allows for a safe passage day or night. Included with the safety of both cyclists and pedestrians, we have incorporated a green system of solar lights along paths to give full coverage of lighting for all on roads and paths. Included with this green system, we are looking at having local vegetation as a functioning barrier from traffic near homes for both sights and sounds.
We felt 10th Street was one of the most important streets to address. It's located in the center of Nolanville with Cavazos Elementary at the north end and the proposed square at the south end. Shrinking lanes to 10 feet will decrease the speed of traveling vehicles, meaning the safety of the surrounding pedestrians will increase. The existing curb on the west side of 10th Street will remain in this proposal, cutting down on renovation costs. We propose an additional plant buffer and sidewalk on the same side to enhance safety and reduce noise pollution. Adding trees such as red oaks and shrubs like fountain grass create a distinct native Texan feel to the street. On the other side, the expanded sidewalk would be buffered with more fountain grass, lit up by solar-powered streetlights, and provide a minimum 8 feet sidewalk to allow for pedestrians to walk or kids to ride their bikes above street level and safe from oncoming vehicular traffic. To tie the entire street together, the sidewalk would be periodically striped with rows of colored pavers in the colors of Cavazos Elementary School colors, purple and gold. Similar to 10th Street, Mesquite Street can be improved by adding plant buffers and new sidewalks to allow easier access for kids and adults alike to Monarch Park at the north end of the street. Again, narrowing the street to 10 feet improves safety and allows for more development off of it. Other streets that would be great to line streets like Mesquite with are Cedar Elm and Lacebark Elm. While similar in makeup, each has its own characteristics, from leaf shape to ornamental bark, to make the street feel more diverse. Mixing in ground covers like creeping juniper complete the newly designed streetscape.
Another way of improving mobility for pedestrians and students alone is to have new paths implemented between homes, connecting residents to schools. This new path would prevent the 1.6-mile commute for people surrounding Monarch Park to a new, much easier quarter-mile commute for most. Within this path, implementations of solar and motion-sensing lighting would be installed for safety and resident ease, as well as an aesthetic look of decorative park benches, trash receptacles, and local vegetation such as live oaks and more.
Nolanville will evolve from a small town into a smart community by implementing new streetscapes with the ability to incorporate autonomous vehicles, new technology to analyze train schedules, and relaying that information to its users. We want Nolanville to be prepared for the potential future of autonomous vehicles and find a solution that would be worth the time, money, and effort to implement such a system. Our proposal is to make an autonomous vehicle shuttle that provides an efficient, safe, and easy way to travel across Nolanville for those in need. The idea is that an autonomous vehicle, referred to here as a shuttle, will be parked at one of the planned stops until someone in need of it transit asks for one, either by phone call, app, or another form of communication. This map shows on the shuttle route where the shuttle can park and or pick up passengers. The stops include South Nolanville, which is also the stop for the larger county bus system HOP and can connect Nolanville residents elsewhere in the area. Other stops include South Main Street, the Community Center, the Disabled American Veterans Center, Monarch Park, Cavazos Elementary, and 7th Street. Travel stops are places where the shuttle can pick passengers up, but will never permanently park. These stops include West Avenue I Street, North Main Street, The Square, Nolan Ridge Drive, and Golden Oak Circle. As an example to see how someone would use the shuttle, imagine the following scenario. You and your friends go to hang out at the newly opened square in the center of Nolanville. You enjoy a couple of drinks and are ready to go home, but you live across town near 7th Street. You don't quite feel safe to drive, so instead of walking, you call the shuttle. The shuttle is parked at Monarch Park and in a couple of minutes arrives at the square to pick you up. In a couple of more minutes, you arrive near your home safe and sound. The shuttle stays parked at 7th Street stop until its next call comes in. This is just one of many instances where the autonomous vehicle can greatly impact even a small town such as Nolanville.
Finally, we discussed the design for digital train crossing signage that is powered by machine learning algorithms. This is an example of what the digital train crossing signage would look like. These signs would be placed at all four of Nolanville's existing train crossings at 5th Street, Main Street, Levi Crossing Road, and Jack Rabbit Road, and the new train crossing near Nolanville Square at 8th Street. Other signage could be placed on high traffic pathways to inform citizens to take a detour earlier.
The signs would be placed with ample opportunity for the driver to turn around and take a different route if an intersection is blocked. Also, the data provided to these signs will be directly accessible to emergency services in order to inform them of the best route to take when trying to get to someone in need.
These images simulate two different situations at the Main Street crossing. When there is no train present at the intersection, the sign will indicate open. When a train is present at the intersection, the sign will indicate 4 exits. Drivers can then choose the best alternate route. The signs use a predictive train schedule created by our program.
A suitable data set for train crossings could not be found with the parameters that we needed, so we simulated a set of sensor data, which was utilized in place for proof of concept. There are 400,000 samples over the span of 4 years with features of month, day, day of week, the week of the month, year, and time. The outcome is whether or not a train is present, and there are a total of 6 features and 1 outcome.
Here we have a histogram of train frequencies depending on what time of the day it is. Over the span of 4 years, the train comes most frequently around 11 a.m. with about 200 stops. The second most visited time is approximately between 1 to 3 a.m. with 50 stops.
This stat can be used to create a probabilistic train schedule to help the citizens of Nolanville know which train crossings are likely blocked or going to be blocked soon. The signs will reflect this information and warn citizens in advance. We are using a random forest model, which is an ensemble of many decision trees. By taking this approach, we can best model our style of data while not encountering too much complexity. Our software will be open source, so everyone knows where the data is being taken from and how it is being used for trust and transparency. In practice, the required data could be gathered by any type of train sensor and incrementally added into the model to increase accuracy through perpetual training.
Finally, we want our solution to help everyone. So like we discussed earlier, the outcomes will be displayed to the public to ensure all citizens gain insight from this added information. Our train schedule prediction software will help the community evolve past the train blockage troubles by utilizing technology and machine learning.
We intend for our interventions to be broken up into 3 phases over the course of 15 years. The first phase includes partnering the city with community engagement groups and implementing new streetscapes on West Avenue I, Mesquite Street, and 10th Street. This would happen over the next 5 years. The next phase includes the Nolanville Square development and the pedestrian path between Cavazos Elementary and Monarch Park. This would happen over the next 10 years. Finally, we hope for the implementation of an autonomous vehicle route and a predictive train schedule. This would occur over the next 15 years. Our team's multiple multidisciplinary solutions to improve mobility and safety all work together to make the city of Nolanville a place that is engaged, efficient, and evolved.